Oh hey, I just saw that new Goat movie from Sony Pictures. Goat is an animated sports movie about a tiny little goat that is going pro in Rollerball. And I know what you're thinking, what's Rollerball? It's basketball. Except there are animals playing. And there's some other small rule differences. It's basketball, I promise. This was actually produced by Steph Curry. To be honest, I didn't even know this was coming out until a week before its release, but I was still excited going into this because Sony Pictures has been putting out some of the most boundary-pushing animation and imaginative projects of the last couple years. Most recently with K-pop Demon Hunters, which took the world by storm. It's a deeply flawed movie, but still a marvelous achievement in animation. Its unique concept resonated with a lot of people, which might be why it's the most popular movie on Netflix of all time. And you know, some of the songs were catchy. Similarly, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a large cultural moment for a lot of fans. It's an almost 2.5 hour long odyssey that makes you feel like you're watching a music video on steroids. All is that to say, Sony is daring compared to their competitors. They have a coolness factor that I personally don't think is matched by any other studio. It's obvious that people are connecting with their movies, maybe more than any other animation studio. Sony is tapped into our modern tech-driven environment without trying too hard, with the exception of the Emoji Movie. It's hard to follow up two juggernauts of movies, but I was still intrigued on whether or not they could pull it off. So did they? Not really. The animation is as jaw-dropping as you'd expect. I'm personally still in love with this comic book-esque art style, which looks especially dynamic during the Rollerball scenes. The colors make the scenery pop, but the whole environment is so vibrant. There's so much action and detail in every frame. The spectacle of it all is beautiful, and it's my favorite part of the movie. The focus of the movie is Rollerball. It's a sports movie, and there aren't many animated sports movies out there, unless you count Space Jam. I was worried how these scenes might transfer to the big screen. My skepticism quickly died. Motion and movement from each character is bustling with energy. The courts are all different from one another. It's fun to see how different animals use their traits to adapt to challenges. Watching elephants and gorillas weave through each other on the court, it's impossible not to smile. I honestly wish that there were more Rollerball scenes. The soundtrack is a lot of fun as well. They got everyone for this soundtrack, including one of the voice actors. Jelly Roll. Shout out Jelly Roll. The star player of this movie is a panther named Jet. She's kind of the LeBron of this universe. I think it's cool that a girl was chosen for this role. It's done in a non-flashy but progressive manner. It's tasteful, you can't get mad at it. The climax is killer. I love the way they raise the stakes. It truly feels like the zenith of the story. I talked a bit about Sony's coolness factor earlier. The use of internet is somewhat muddied and inconsistent. Sometimes it feels like businessmen trying to appeal to the youth, and at other points it effortlessly serves the story. There's an awkward disconnect, but overall the use of social media serves the movie. None of my issues lie in the presentation, more so the story itself. Goat follows all of the same narrative beats as every sports movie. An underdog gets their time to shine, but they're let down by their hero, and then they come out on top. The plot is cliche. It doesn't deviate from that structure. About 10 minutes in, you know how this entire movie goes. I get it. It's a kid's movie, not everything has to be unique like Across the Spider-Verse. But considering Goat's tendency to try and appeal to older audiences, I'd figured they'd try something different. The movie's presentation isn't naive, so why's the story? Although part of me still kind of struggles to hate an underdog story. An under-goat story. There's a let's get the band back together moment that made my eyes roll to the back of my head. I get why there are animals in this because it's an animated kids movie. I wish they played into it a little more other than a couple of bits. The amount of product placement in this movie is ridiculous, with Mercedes being the biggest culprit. I saw the Mercedes logo more in that movie than I've seen my dog in the past month. Whenever it was on screen, it would feel out of place. It seemed like the animation would dip in quality, probably because a giant car didn't belong in some of these scenes. Under Armour and DoorDash had the decency to be a little more subtle. Characters felt flat and weren't fully fleshed out. Jet and Will were shallow protagonists that didn't offer more than meets the eye. They were stereotypical characters that fell into their role. I didn't connect or resonate with any of the side characters either. My least favorite part of this movie is Goat Tears, which is a diss track from a horse. It's like the Meet the Grahams of this universe. I don't know who thought that diss track would resonate with people. Also, I'm 20, so maybe if I was 5 and I heard those goat bars, I'd be really into it. The ending is sweet and it ties everything up nicely. And then, during this tender moment, one of the central conflicts of the climax is resolved with this weird punchline that tonally just doesn't make sense. It ruins the moment. It came from this character named Moto, who frankly kind of annoyed me. At the theater, no one was laughing at the jokes. Like, it was an audience full of kids, but like no one was fucking with the animal jokes. I was laughing harder than most of them. Overall, Goat maintains a technical quality gap compared to most animated movies right now, but the story writing and shallow characters are nothing burger and leave room for improvement. I'm feeling a 6 out of 10.